did crush it.
We crushed it.
Don't think you should have gone with my original selfie. It's so in character.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we didn't get a countdown. We're live.
Oh no, I knew we were live. It's just funnier.
Listen.
I didn't hear it.
I
You're a
didn't
mess tonight.
To be
Hi,
fair,
everybody.
I didn't hear it, knew it was live, and just went on anyways.
That's fair. That sounds
Mason's
about right.
a traitor.
Traitor.
Chaotic neutral.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our train wreck. But no trains or wrecking this time. Yet. It could still happen. I'm trying to think of a word. What's the thing is it penultimate? What's the one that's before the final?
Penultimate.
That's
Penultimate.
The right one.
Welcome to our penultimate episode of Season 1, Call of Cthulhu, Iron, Dust, and Blood. For those of you joining us for the first time, we are running down darker trails. So we are in the American Old West. The events that we are... the events happening right now are occurring in the year of 1868 is when we started. We have passed through winter now, and we are in 1869. Nice. Let's do a quick around the room so we can meet our characters and our players, and then we're gonna jump right into this. Let's start with Mags Monroe down in the bottom right.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm here playing Miss Molly Monroe, called Magnesium, or Mags for short. She likes dynamite and vests and not men, and expressing herself through mild violence and obtuseness. And that's a little bit about our Mags.
And our resident in obtuseness, our resident gunslinger, Ulrich Wolf.
That's it. Thank you. Sorry. Yes, I am Lord Fancy. I play Ulrich Wolf, the bounty hunter. Didn't start out as a gunslinger, but you get shot enough times and you start learning how to shoot back.
I think to date you have been wounded the most.
I've been shot 3 times this show.
And clawed by a dinosaur.
And clawed by a dinosaur. Yes. Yeah. Glutton for punishment, I guess.
Yeah. Not some people can say they've been shot a few times. Nobody else can say that they've been cut open by a dinosaur.
Almost gored. Broke my belt.
Yeah. Cross the way to Dallas Rex.
Yeah, hey everybody. My name is Mason. I have not been gored by a dinosaur, but I am a Santa Claus in training. That's going to be the next campaign though, so just stick around for that one.
Is Santa a cryptid?
Santa Claus is definitely a cryptid. 100 P.
And his power, it's not really like Santa. It's like the soul, then jumps to another being.
Mm.
It's a hostile takeover.
I get it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what the Santa Claus is really all about. Tim Allen
The feeling,
acted
the
for it.
feeling of Christmas. Yeah. You got it now.
The Santa Claus, but a horror.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, I almost said leashed. She's not leashed either, but
Don't make this
last but
weird.
not least, Maybelle Monroe.
Hey everybody, I'm Diana. I am Maybelle, and Maybelle is me. I don't have an affinity for blowing things up, or the cold, or this weird little town that we're in, but I do apparently like Santa Claus. That's my kink. That's my jam. So here we
She's
are.
crushing on him super hard.
Old bearded men. That's what she likes.
Art imitates life.
Oh man, we're super serious here on this horror themed game. And we're gonna dive right back in here. Oh, and I'm your storyteller, and I also don't have an affinity for blowing things up. I just you said it, and I wanted to like have that pause. Anyway, when we last left our investigators, they had they had finally made it to a safe haven. They've been running from one disaster, I guess, to the next, attempting from the night that something occurred and Maybelle and Mags's father was brutally murdered. They've not had a moment of peace. And they finally arrived in a town that seemed, by all intents and purposes, to welcome them and show them a wonderful place where they can relax, get hot baths, hot meals. They got pocketfuls of silver. They got whatever they need. And in fact, they even had a little bit of a mini Christmas when Sheriff Rex, out of the goodness of his heart, went and got everybody gifts. Our investigators have wintered in the town of Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. And while they may have had the opportunity to poke and investigate and interrogate possibly about the strange snow wraiths that seem to haunt this area of the town, they were unable to find a definitive answer on where they originated from or how to get rid of them. Throughout the cold months, they did encounter a few more, but they were easily dispatched every time by the simple expedite.
Are you
The
drunk?
expedient.
Expeditious.
They shot him. And as spring began to poke its beautiful blossoming head through the snow, they began to think on their mission and moving on to the next destination. Now, they were warned by the townsfolk and the mayor that they couldn't afford to leave really before March finished. It was just the odds were just too high that they could be trapped by a winter storm and the wraiths therein. But we've reached April, and the first thaw has really begun. And now is the time when the river has opened back up, and as you all are there, the first ferryman comes down the river with goods for trade, and the town seems to open up and blossom as this trade route begins once more. And that is the scene where you all are.
Keeper.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we kind of get to dictate how we spent our winter as far as if we used it productively or not?
Yeah. Let's do a quick around the room and how you would have spent your winter moments, and we can RP any moment that you really would like to explore.
So how many months? It was like December to March?
January, February, March, because it was right past Christmas, because when you were in the mine, he mentioned that y'all just missed Christmas. So 3 full months.
Do we know if there is a blacksmith in town?
There is.
I will go first. My task, I want to learn how to smelt, cast, and stuff some silver bullets then.
Are you actually learning, or did you just want to smelt some silver bullets?
I would like to, I mean, obviously, I have to get the guy to teach me, but I would like to, I'd like to learn. Oh boy, what?
Realize we have a blacksmith in
You need
our
a
party.
man to teach you that?
Oh shit.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought
Then-
you were doing it on
Wow.
purpose.
No, I
Team roleplay
legitimately,
opportunity.
I haven't seen her smelt a single thing. She's blown shit up. She's done zero blacksmithing.
Opposite.
You walked
She
into
takes
my life.
The whole experience from creation to destruction very
Then-
seriously.
Then we will use that blacksmith's shop, and I will hope with Mags's help I can learn,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we can
I'll
stock
just,
up on some
you know,
silver bullets.
Use my art craft blacksmithing that I built the entire character around to help you.
What's your score on dynamite?
It's 26.
Oh, you should probably use that blacksmithing thing more.
Nah.
Nah.
This is a wonderful opportunity for Mags to demonstrate her skills. So what I want you to do, Dallas, is roll blacksmithing.
Okay.
But because Mags is there to help you and guide you, roll it with advantage.
So this is an art craft
Yes.
type roll. Okay, you said roll with advantage.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, but
Not gonna, no. All right.
as long as you roll above the 5% that I'm assuming you have.
Yeah, I've got 5%. I just got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Okay. Roll 2 d10s and add that total to your art and craft and blacksmithing. And Mags, roll 2d10, and that's how many silver bullets you all managed to create.
Two D10, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's 15 total.
So between the party, you all have 15 silver bullets for the handguns that you all carry.
And I still had a few on my person, so if you guys needed to divvy those up, feel free.
You know how much I love guns. I probably would have taken a keen interest in this whole experiment going on, because that's my boo, and second of all, my sister is kind of a force. I would like to observe safely from maybe 10 or 15 feet away to see if Mags is making this maybe just a little bit harder than it truly needs to be for Dallas, just because she can.
Well, first of all, I'm definitely wearing my old apron and not my new one yet. And secondly, I'm definitely like, yeah, in case you forgot I knew how to do this, maybe it's because we haven't exactly been at a forge lately. We haven't exactly been encountering a lot of blacksmithing tools since we left my house with my blacksmithing shop where I used to do my work, but it's fine.
You
I
didn't
still remember.
there? I thought
Sorry?
the hammers, I thought maybe you were just smashing. Go on.
I not only have forged countless things for our ranch with these hammers, but I have also smashed countless terrible creatures that we've encountered with them. So, yeah, I'm quite proud of them.
That reminds me that Dallas didn't see the hammer do the thing in the mine. Okay. Sorry.
Under the guise of taking notes from a distance, I'm probably just writing in all caps in my journal while this is happening and like hyper focusing on it so they don't notice me.
Maybe we can start with just learning how to make stuff with the hammers, and then you can teach me how to smash things with it too.
The basics, yeah. I think we
Yeah.
should start with the basics. That's a smart call. And it's definitely like I teach him like the workshop of making like a heart from a rail spike, like to start, just so he gets used to the tools. And work him up gradually from there. I mean, I think I'm being weirdly grumpy with him, but not like hard on him.
Go ahead and roll me your art and craft.
Rootin' tootin' scootin' hammer falutin' success.
Actually, am I doing that backwards? You have to succeed at the roll in order to increase your score, right?
Oh,
You
I
have to roll higher than your current
yes.
score.
So you have to fail
So
the
you
roll.
fail. Then in that
Okay.
case, I did not do it because I succeeded. If it were like a roll.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a 9. Like we good.
Okay. So you spend the winter teaching instead of learning. Anything anyone else would like to do?
Thanks, Emily.
I would be doing as much like firsthand interview and research as I possibly could about not only this area, but also all sightings of the creepy winter wraith things. I would probably routinely wander just like maybe like 15-20 feet out of town to see if I could catch a glimpse of one and like sketch a picture of it so that I have pretty thorough notes. If any of you were to flip through it, you'd probably see some designs for like rudimentary traps with big X's through them and things like that. And avoiding Dallas.
Oh, avoiding him.
Yeah, like not super intentionally, but whenever they're alone in a room, she just kind of gets real tongue-tied and turns bright red and shuffles off like with an excuse, like, oh, I left bread in the oven, even though obviously that's not true because she's not baking. There is no oven in her room and she doesn't bake bread, so.
I think in response, him noticing her be that kind of weird shy, he's gonna like just nonchalantly occasionally be like, you know, when somebody like opens the fridge and then you close it in the movie and there's somebody standing there suddenly, probably just be like, hey, what's going on? Like just popping up places just obnoxiously.
Maybelle. Roll me. There's not just an investigate roll. Roll me Cthulhu Mythos.
There never was a Dallas. It was all in your mind.
Big fail.
Good. Roll a d10 and add that to your Cthulhu Mythos score.
Oh, hot damn. Now I'm in the double digits.
Damn.
Ulrich, what have you been doing over the winter?
Drinking, fighting, not assisting in any of that shooting wraith bullshit, not taking any silver bullets. Nope. I think I am done with all this silly supernatural bullshit. I want my feet on the ground beneath me, and I want a drink in my hand until I can fucking leave.
How does the rest of the investigative party respond to this change in Ulrich's character?
Is he sort of always at the bar then? Cool, I
Yeah,
just won't see him then.
I'm probably fighting anyone who even looks at me, paying off the sheriff, and just being an awful person. By choice.
It's a little more awful than I was imagining him being. It's not like he's in a slump. He's just kind of being an asshole. I think with that in mind, and I don't know how this is gonna go. We feel free to play it out. I think I would probably just try and check in with him after a few weeks of this. Ulrich, how you doing?
Never been better.
I mean, I feel like when I met you, you were doing a good bit better, actually. So, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself, to all these people?
Why does it matter to you?
Well, I know it may not be mutual, but I've come to think of you somewhat as a friend over the past few months. And in case it's not clear, that means I'm worried about your well-being.
Yeah, we've certainly been through a thing or two, ain't we? Seen some things, yeah?
Yeah, a few things. I know I missed a little bit of it. Did something happen down there that I don't know about? Is there something that you're not telling me that... I mean, we're just different.
I couldn't explain it to you. I like to think I'm a learned man. Read some books, met some people. Understand there are some things in this world that we can't quite explain. But it ain't just what happened down in that mine. It ain't just man rising back up from their deaths. It's everything.
The world was a lot simpler a few months ago, I suppose. Look, I know it's not much, but if you ever need me for anything, you just let me know. And we're gonna get through this, and we're all gonna see the end with the shining sunset and the sparkling water and whatever you're imagining to be the safe end to all this. We're gonna get there.
Hopefully.
No, we're gonna get there. We came this far, I mean. We fought dinosaurs, Ulrich. We've done things and seen things that no other man has any right to do or see.
Yeah, I didn't ask for that.
Neither did I, but either way, we made it through it one way or another. I don't think you make it through stuff like that with just luck. I don't know if that means we were chosen by a higher power. I don't know if it means destiny or fate has something for us, but you're not going to find it at the bottom of the bottle, whatever's bothering you. And we've still got a lot to do.
I ain't looking for it.
I know. I'm just going to give him a pat on the back and head out at that point.
Does that change your behavior at all? That conversation?
At some point, I think I would try and have a very awkward conversation with Mags. Speaking in generalities, of course. Mags? You're my family, right?
What kind of question is that?
Well, I mean, you're sort of all I have.
Right.
We're growing up now, and we're kind of branching out and seeing the world. And
If that's what you want to call this, sure.
I think we've arguably seen more than most living folk at this
Yeah.
point.
It's the honest truth.
You would never feel like I abandoned you, right?
Where is this coming from?
I don't know, Mags. I mean, we've made some friends, and I'd never want you to feel like something was coming between us. I'm always your sister.
Well, right. I mean, you, like you said, we're all we've got. I mean, how do we bounce back from what happened to our... our home. We have to stay together.
Yeah.
Are you saying that
No.
that's gonna change?
No. We're always gonna be together. I'm just wondering how you might react if someone else were with us too.
I mean, well, we had, you know, Ulrich and the sheriff
Right,
with us this whole time.
But closer.
What are you saying? You want to save money and get the one room?
No.
Will you just say what it is on your mind? I'm not following you.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Look, I know that you'll always do everything in your power to keep me safe because you love me. And I know that Daddy would have done the same if he'd still been around.
Yeah.
But it might not just be you and I forever. There might be other people who I want to make sure we're taken care of and who take care of us. But you're more important, Mags. You'll always be more important. So if you never want me to leave your side, if you want me to help you, we'll figure this out. We'll get a new farm if that's what you want. We'll get you a new shop.
This is about Dallas Rex, ain't it?
I never said that.
Tell me I'm not right.
Max, I've never had the hatred that you do. You know me. I'm a peach. I bruise easy. I have a big heart. And he's done a lot to help us. You have to admit.
Is that it?
No, I'm not saying any of this right. Forget I said anything.
Well, no, I'm not. You are your own person, and you're allowed to have whatever feelings it is you have. But I don't relate, and I can't picture that for me. So if the two of you go off together, I'm truly on my own. So
we're not going off, Max. Forget I said anything.
No.
Forget it. No, you're my family. That's what's important.
Your happiness is important. You are important.
Forget I said anything. I'm sure I'm just being foolish. I mean, he's well-traveled and a man of the law, and I'm sure he has tons of prospects. He's probably not even thinking of me that way. I was stupid. He gave me a Christmas present and I fell head over heels.
So the way that your face lights up when you talk about him, it's exactly what happens to his when he looks at you.
You gotta stop making fun of me, Max. It's really not nice.
I'm being dead honest. This is not making fun. I absolutely cannot stand in the way of that. And I'm not asking you to I'm not asking anything in particular. I'm just saying be patient with me because I just don't get it, and I'm trying real hard, and all that matters to me is that you're happy. But
when she says that, I'm just gonna go and just hug her real tight right around the middle. As tight as I possibly can.
I like melt in her arms and return the hug. And I say, you remember how when we were growing up and Daddy made us do those dance lessons and you loved them, but I just wasn't into them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have 2 left feet. I love you, Mags, but dancing is not something that you excel at.
Yeah, that's just the way I am. Well, Dallas is your big ball you've been preparing for with those dance lessons, and it was never for me.
I'm not saying anything's gonna happen. I don't know that. With everything we've seen, we could all be dead tomorrow, but I just want you to know that you always come first.
Well, I know. But if we're gonna die tomorrow, it's all the more reason to tell him how you really feel.
I could never do that. That would require courage that I have never been equipped with. I was hoping I could ask you a favor, though.
I'm not telling him for you.
No, nothing like that. You would probably just yell it at him. Could you maybe be nicer when you're teaching him how to use the forge? He might not realize what's going on, but I certainly do.
Well, if he would just listen to me about how to grip the hammer, I'd be nicer to him. But he seems to think he knows what he's doing better than I do, so.
Well, you and I both know that that's not true.
I'll ease up on him and make sure he eases up on his grip.
Thank you. But really, forget I said anything. It's really not anything important. And I'll kind of like just like I would with Dallas, I'll shuffle and like scrape up my notes and leave the room as fast as I possibly can.
As she runs out, I yell, "If you don't tell him for end of day tomorrow, I will."
Cool. Really not cool. Yeah, so I'll tell it, but I'm gonna do it on my terms in the most Maybelle way possible. I will write it on a sheet of paper, slide it under his door unsigned, and leave it at that. And then proudly go tell Mags that I told him.
Does it have a checkbox?
It does not say, I like you, do you like me? Check yes or no. In fact, it's probably... Ooh, you know, Maybelle probably would have written some sappy poetry stuff. She probably would have written something artistic. A sonnet, if you will.
What was it? Just a piece of paper that you wrote on and slid under the door? Did you fold it up, or like what does it look like?
It's probably folded up, just a little bit, so that no one else will see it and read it.
Okay. It like did you seal it or write your name on the outside or? Okay. I think Dallas would probably pick it up. Maybe read the first word or two, realize who it's from, and then close it back. And then make his way over and just go knock on the door.
Oh, God. Point of order. Mags and I are sharing a room. Is she there?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Great, cool. I'll go answer the door, but seeing who it is, I'm gonna do the thing where I close the door in your face and then like take a moment and then reopen it. Yes, yeah, good to see you, Dallas.
You having a problem with your door there?
Yeah, darn thing just slammed shut.
Damn.
Must have been the wind.
I mean, I can call management if we need him to get him to come up here and look at it. I'm gonna start to turn.
Gonna, like, yell down the stairs, or
I'm gonna start to turn like I'm gonna go get management to fix the door.
I'll call management. You have no tact, and I just like shove my way out of the room and down the hall.
So, and I'm not. I don't visibly have the paper. It's in a jacket pocket. It's kind of weird, Mags just leaving like that, but yeah, no, I just had something I wanted to ask you. I was just heading to my room and thought maybe I'd stop by.
Do you need help? Ulrich, is he being ornery again?
He's never
more
stopped.
A Mag's chore than him.
I know. He really just needs one good ass whooping, I think. You know, but no, that's not why I'm here.
Because I can't deliver an ass whooping.
Yeah. Well, maybe Mags can teach you that next. Look, I found this piece of paper and I thought you might have lost it. And I just noticed it had your handwriting on it, and
that's not mine.
Oh, it's not. Did Mags write this?
Maybe.
I'm just saying, there's not many women folk staying here in the hotel, so it just seemed like a feminine script. I thought it was yours. I've seen your handwriting a good bit, but
what is it? What does it say exactly?
It seemed private. I didn't want to read it, but and I'm gonna pull it out and kind of hand it back to her. But
it was under your door, so it's probably for you, no matter who it's from.
I will be happy to read this when the person who sent it can express what's in here with their words, verbally, out loud. I think before then, it might just not be right.
Very gentlemanly of you. A lot of girls have big sisters who threaten them with stuff.
Yeah, I thought so. I want you to know that you are very special to me. So if you ever find who wrote that, just let me know. I'm gonna turn and leave.
Maybelle's kind of gonna stand frozen on the spot. Probably, honestly, until Mags comes back.
All right, so if I see that he's like left the vicinity of the door, I'll come on back. And I'm like, well, how'd it go?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, I've never done this before.
I mean, you told him?
Sort of.
You kissed him?
Not today.
I don't quite know what that means.
Look, I wrote down what I was thinking, and he gave it back to me. I don't feel like that's a good sign.
Boy, I really don't understand how this works.
He said I was special to him. and that when whoever wrote the letter could say it with their words, he'd like to meet them. Do you think maybe he can't read? Because I think that's going to be a deal breaker for me.
I think maybe you're just chicken.
Or maybe he didn't want it.
What'd he say? You're special?
Yeah. But you've said that about hammers. I used to say it about the goats at the farm all the time. I don't
think you understand. I love my hammers.
And I loved those goats, but does that count, or are you gonna tell him?
I'm not gonna tell him, but I may not be the best expert at this. I may not be the person who really can offer you good advice, but I do think I do think it. I don't get it, but I get this. Just you need to have a little more confidence in yourself and let yourself be known.
I want a drink. Do you want to go down and get a drink?
You want a drink?
I don't know. Papa always used to
No,
have...
say no more. I'm getting you a drink. And I like grab her wrist and I take her down.
I will follow without complaint, and while doing so I'll kind of like tuck the letter into the bosom of my dress so that I have it on me. Is Ulrich okay? He doesn't look real good. What do you usually order?
Well, I normally just ask for a glass of the good stuff.
What's the good stuff?
Well, that's the
Buying.
thing. Did he say he's buying, or did he say it's mine?
I don't know. Ulrich, what was that?
I got you, Tab.
Oh, he's buying. Great. What are you drinking there, Ulrich?
Some kind of bourbon. I finished off their whiskey till the next shipment.
The good stuff.
You might want to slow down there, Ulrich.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it'd be pretty embarrassing if a man who survived dinosaurs and gunshots and lizard men and a Gatling gun died from a drink.
You know, your good sheriff came and had a talk with me. Quite similar. But he didn't put it quite as eloquently as yourself, madam.
Well, it is because of us that you're here.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe have a glass of water next. Maybe something to eat.
Oh, don't let me ruin the fun. I think it's time for me to do some thinking. Don't worry about me.
What about?
What to do?
Well, we know what to do. We're gonna wait it out the winter. We're gonna help as much as we can here, and then we're gonna wait. I don't actually know what we're doing after that. We're gonna keep on moving on, right?
Well, we got a rendezvous in Cheyenne.
That's right. That's right.
If they're still there. I suppose.
Rendezvous should have met up with a year ago.
We did what we were supposed to do.
I ain't upset. Listen, don't let me drag you down none.
I can't help
Say-
but feel like you're dragging yourself down for the rest of us. Enough.
When you see the good sheriff, tell him I said thanks. Pretty soon, passage will come through here. We can make our decisions.
I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking like a coward.
I don't know anybody else who fits that bill.
That was uncalled for.
Was it?
We'll have whatever he's having. Does it taste
And then I do order a water. Yeah.
Because it doesn't smell great.
Now you just gotta knock it back real fast, lad.
Mm-hmm. If it touches your tongue, you're doing it wrong. Keep trying until you get it right.
Okay, that doesn't sound right, but I'll do the thing that everyone does at some point with their first shot of some kind of liquor, and I'll take it just a little too slow and kind of do the like, ooh.
You're
Why
right
do you
there.
all do that to yourselves?
Well, you see, you didn't do it right. Try another.
You're not supposed to taste it.
Not really.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. That one I'll knock back clean and just kind of like take a moment to collect myself.
Well done.
Look out, she's already a pro.
And that's where she's gonna stop tonight.
At which point I bust in. Drinks on me for everybody.
He's got his parachute pants on. It's boogie night.
Yeah, it is.
Well, needless to say, it has been a winter. Yes,
I was
Maybelle.
not finished.
Oh.
Yeah, she.
The minute that
No one
Mags
tells
and
this
Ulrich-
little girl how to party.
That's
the
so
minute
real.
that Mags and Ulrich have stopped paying such close attention to me, I'll kind of mumble to myself, "Be right back," and I'll go back upstairs to Dallas's room and knock on the
That
door.
liquid vim.
And when he's opening it, I am reading the letter. I am holding it and reading it to him.
What song's playing in the background? Did you start the
In Your
jukebox
Eyes.
before you went up? Classic.
As she starts reading it, I'm gonna probably do the like put my hand over the thing and then finally pull her in for the romantic kiss.
That tastes like cheap bourbon.
Yeah, I probably realized that, but it's all I'm committed at this point.
Okay, now I'm done.
Yeah, fade to black. We're good.
Yeah.
Fade to black.
When Maybelle heads up the stairs, I'm gonna look over at Mags. You'd kick my ass, wouldn't you?
To hell and back.
Love it.
That was
I love you guys, by the way.
This has been great. I'm just watching y'all.
Hey, he gets to torture
Isn't
us.
this a story about Cthulhu? It's something.
Look, we've got to take time for personal character development, and that's what this is about.
Yeah.
That's
that
what
way
makes
the
it
deaths
hurt.
are more impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you die, people care. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. So you all have had a pretty good winter. Some of you warmer than others. And spring has sprung. The last frost has passed, and the mayor of Scotts Bluff, while he is sorry to see you go, he's been hinting the whole winter, Rex, that the town could really use a sheriff. And anytime you're around Mags, he says, you know, a blacksmith is great, but you know what's better than one blacksmith? Two blacksmiths. Ulrich, he kind of wants you to leave the town, and he you know, he struggles with it every time he talks to you. He because you are spending a lot of silver around and keeping the town economy going, but also you pick fights and you've drank all the whiskey, so he does the, you know, that awkward, like, hey, I don't want to tell you to leave, but because I'm afraid you might beat me up, but it's about time you probably move on. And Maybelle, you make him uncomfortable with the amount of intense questioning that you've done about how he may or may not have left certain citizens to die,
That checks out.
or at least be abducted by frozen entities out there, and
I
he
have a
doesn't like
record
your
of
line of
every one
questioning.
right here with dates.
So he kind of avoids you whenever possible.
I don't let him get away with that shit.
But Mags and Rex, he definitely makes it very, very clear that you all would be a welcome addition to this here burgeoning town. It's gonna be the next San Francisco. I tell you what, things, you know, we're booming here with trade on the river.
I think Dallas would probably humor him, and genuinely put it on a list of like places I am welcome to go. Like, so it's a place where he's more than welcome. So he's definitely written it down, but I don't think it's his number one, given that there's spooky ghosts.
You know, every place has its positives and negatives, pros and
Yeah,
cons.
that's-
Really, you got to make a
That's
list.
true. I mean, if it's paradise otherwise, what are some spooky ghosts, man? We'll
It's only a
figure this
couple
out. We
months
can
out
work
of the
this
year.
out. Yeah, it's only a couple months out of the year. Deadly winter ghosts.
Yeah, the black
Oh,
months.
boy.
You don't want to be outside anyway. That's a good time for cuddling.
Are you guys on the Scotts Bluff tourism board?
What's the cost of living? Is the real.
You know, I'll get you a chart. We'll get back to you.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
You do find out, however, that it is it's 96 miles on the best trails from where you are to Cheyenne. You've learned that during your time here, which would take you, you know, if you travel 8 hours a day at a walking pace, about 5-6 days. But it's that time. You gotta decide whether you're gonna stay here in Scotts Bluff forever or move on. Please move on.
You know, it's been pretty nice, Justice. We were here for months and didn't get a single dinosaur or spooky ghost.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few spooky ghosts. They're still there.
I
Okay.
will continually bring up the fact that the mayor routinely leaves people to die. I will continue to bring that up as a con for this town.
That hasn't happened in several years once people discovered that they just need to stay indoors when it gets cold out.
Well, you know, Maybelle, it hasn't happened for like several years. I mean, there's a lot of positives. There's nobody looking to kill us here. There's, you know, they like me for some reason.
Well, there's lots of reasons there, but don't you think we should go to Cheyenne and
I mean, we did the main thing we set out to do, right?
Well, yes, but there's obviously still more.
I mean, after everything that's happened, it feels like we've earned our happy ending at this point.
I'm gonna walk in at this point. Somehow a little cleaner than the last time you had seen Ulrich. Looks like he went and bought himself a jacket and a hat.
Oh, damn. Oh, nice new duds you got there, Ulrich.
Yeah, you caused me to do some thinking there, Sheriff. And I think I told some bastard I was supposed to bring in that I'd be meeting him out in Cheyenne.
I do seem to recall that.
I think it's important to see what happened to my bounty.
It's mighty important for a man to keep his word.
So I'm heading out. I know y'all have come accustomed to having the wolf about, but this town don't want me no more, and I'm tired of wallowing.
Hold on a minute, Ulrich. We were just talking about if perhaps maybe we should move on to Cheyenne too.
That a thing?
I suppose it wouldn't quite be the happy ending if we didn't have the grumpy drunk uncle.
We got plenty to do before the ending, Dallas.
Yeah. Hope so.
Good. Because I paid for 4 damn horses. We better be taking 4 damn horses.
Well, Mags was getting awfully friendly with the whole shop here. She may end up just replacing the blacksmith. The mayor's taking a liking to her.
Max
Well,
is
that's
the best
unfortunate for the
blacksmith
mayor.
ever, so that's understandable, but she's gonna stay with me, and we still have plenty of work to do. Our father's work. Max?
Sorry, I didn't know if I was there for this conversation.
I want you there if I'm going to talk about how good a
I
blacksmith
come
is.
on walking up, and I'm like...
The best damn blacksmith in the West. Though you might not have witnessed it up until now.
You may have all forgotten, but it's right there in the character sheet. Okay, so yes, I'm there for this part of the I hear your compliment, and I say, listen, Daddy always told me I'd be a fool to think anyone would employ me as a blacksmith because it's not a women's profession, but tempting as it is, I'm staying with you, Belly.
Then it's decided. We're going to Cheyenne. I'll kind of like look back and forth between Dallas and Mags for a second. All right.
We're going to Cheyenne.
We'll decide what we do when we get there. We are a few months late, after all.
Just one or
Yeah.
two.
Rex, you still got that coin, yeah?
Yeah, kind of fish in, and I don't feel right for some reason just leaving it around,
Got a feeling we're gonna have to get ourselves in places we don't belong.
I don't think it's going to be the first time for most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Rum racing.
Does Dallas also have like the weird rock from prehistoric times as well as the thing from the train?
Friend Rock?
Wait, not friend. Is it? We had like a
Not
crystal
friend
rock.
It was the other thing.
Yeah,
It was the spike
The
that you
spike,
found in the
yeah.
chest.
Yeah.
You got all the
Oh yeah, I mean,
shit.
if it was directed at me, yeah, I mean, I'm not just gonna huck it off like on the dusty trail. So yeah, he's still got it. Maybe not on his person, but yeah, he's got it.
Just
And
curious.
if
I
you
want to know how many doomsday devices we had on us at this point in time.
Well, I also have a magic egg,
Monkey's
and
paw,
ancient finger bones.
deck of many things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a notebook with notes in it.
Nuclear notes.
That does bring up a point, inventory-wise. You all are able to get, as far as like mundane things, ammunition-wise, any guns, things, you can replace your Bowie knife here over the winter. Ulrich, all of that is able to be accommodated here in Scottsbluff. It's not a thriving town, but they got enough stuff to take care of you. Or it is a thriving town. It's not a boom town, but they've got plenty of trade. As far as strange supernatural type things, we've got the coin, and every time you pull that coin out, if it catches the light just right, it feels like that snake head on the face moves just a little bit. And it still sort of like gives you that little jump scare every time you see it if you were to take it out and look at it. But you also do have that spike that was apparently the item that was supposed to be transported that you were all sent after. It's made of a white crystallized rock. It's got that like a quartz look to it. When you hold it up to the sunlight, it has it reflects it in sort of a glittery rainbowy pattern, and it's always cold. It's extremely cold to the touch.
I imagine we pass that around if it gets hot ever. It's like, damn,
let me put that on the back of the neck. Yeah. Mags, besides your implements of destruction and doom, which I believe you have 3 vials of nitro, and then quite a bit of dynamite.
We had a crate on the thingy. Hold on,
But not the nitro. You left most of the nitro.
I left most of it. I have 18 sticks of dynamite and 17 silver bullets now.
But you also have a vial that you took a sip out of. Did you just have the one that transformed you into a dude?
Yeah, that I frankly I can't remember if I knocked it all back or if I just took a sip. But
Dude juice.
I think you just took a sip.
Yeah, you just took a drink of it.
Carry a sip.
Ulrich, you have an egg, like a stone egg, right?
Yeah,
you all
creates
had
the magic shield.
Yeah, you all had a few of them, and you gave the blank one, the one that you activated, over to Logan Boone.
Yep.
And there was one more mystical type thing that you all found, the elongated egg, and I think we never decide who kept that. But
I also have the ancient finger bone as well. If that's not written in your notes, then I guess I just got a finger bone.
Don't know who it belongs to.
Where did that come from? Did you grab it from the Valley of the Dinosaurs?
Maybe. It could have also come from the shaman in the...
Yeah, you took it from the shaman. Yeah, that's right. The one that turned to dust after he was defeated.
Mm-hmm. He had a finger bone, and that stood out to me.
So you all head south towards Cheyenne. Yeah. Ultimately, it's uneventful. It's a bit of a jarring shift from the comfort that you grew accustomed to at Scotts Bluff. Now, ladies, you haven't spent much time on the trail just in general, but Ulrich and Dallas, you all have had plenty of nights spent out with the campfire, your horses, and your saddles. So how is this nostalgic for you all? How's everybody feel about 4 to 5 days on the trail? Just getting a general check-in.
By day 2, Maybelle's but probably would have been hurting from sitting in that saddle and just, extended riding. Your ass hurts.
Oh yeah.
Giggity. She probably would have that night by the campfire tried to tinker around with the saddle to make it so that it has a little bit of like a shock to it, like just adding some springs somewhere in there. She would tinker away so that maybe that ride was a little bit smoother.
Yeah, I'm definitely nostalgic.
Yeah, I think kind of the same for Dallas, though he spent less time recently on the trail. Certainly, it's more in his younger days.
Mags, how you feeling about life on the trail again?
It feels very much like the whole experience, but particularly now that we're out on the trail, is a conflicting one for Mags because while it is the circumstances that led to us being here are obviously fraught with trauma and sadness, um, it feels so much more at home to be on the trail feeling a bit like one of the guys.
As you all hunker down on day 3 and go about laying out a campsite, I want Mags, Maybelle, and Rex to roll spot hidden.
Or else we get frostbite. Ooh!
Success.
Fail.
I got an extreme success. Oh!
It's not on brand.
No, it's not on brand at all.
Maybelle, as you're all setting up camp and you have a moment after you've sort of attempted to fix your saddle in a way that doesn't quite rub you so raw, you notice that while Ulrich he's sort of come back to himself a little bit, and more of the Ulrich that you knew is coming through. You do notice that he's taken pretty regular swigs out of that flask that he got for Christmas from Santa Rex. And Dallas, as you're helping to unpack the saddlebags and set up the little cook kitchen that you all do every night to have a good hot meal, you notice that his saddlebags has 2 full bottles and a half empty bottle of bourbon still in his saddlebags. Doesn't mean anything, doesn't do anything, just those are things that you notice.
Okay, yeah.
Other than that, it's a fairly uneventful trip down to Cheyenne. Now, as you get closer, it's a decent sized town that sort of sprung up as a crossroads of the railroads. They came through here, and it's turned into a bit of a rodeo town. It's wild. Dallas, that they've gone through several lawmen in the last couple years. Not through natural causes, if you catch my drift. So it is a bit of a rough and tumble Wild West town. You know that you are, a quick recap, the note that you all found on the shaman said, when you've dealt with the bothersome thorn known as Logan Boone, proceed with all haste to Cheyenne. Seek lodging at the Rattlesnakes Coil, and we will contact you with further instructions. You may be sent to meet the package arriving on the northern line. There seems to be some delay. So the saloon, inn, whatever that you are searching for is the Rattlesnakes Coil, but based on what you know, this is a potentially hostile location.
What size town is it?
Compared to Scottsbluff or Twin Springs, it is a booming town.
Okay.
Now, for those of you that are a little more well-traveled, it's not as large as Denver, for instance. It's definitely not as large as the eastern cities that the Monroe sisters came from. And Ulrich, you've been to the bigger cities of Albuquerque and Phoenix, but this is very much a Wild West town. It's got several. It's got a couple different taverns. The number of saloons outweighs what you would think the population should really be able to support. But for Wild West, it's a medium-sized town.
And just to clarify for the people who don't remember, not me, we were meeting people here, or we were just following up on this lead? Because I thought there was like some sort of like second part to it.
Yep. Logan Boone went ahead of you all. While you all were going the northern trail, he was going directly to the Rattlesnakes Coil. And you all were supposed to meet back up in Cheyenne with whatever information you all had found. Of course, that was before you lost 3 months in the Valley of Dinosaurs and 3 more months to winter.
Okay. So, but we are going into the Rattlesnakes Coil, assuming that it's full of bad guys, right? Like we're just assuming that, not that Logan Boone's just gonna be there, like welcomely waiting for us, right?
You should approach it as a hostile location.
Just making like triple sure. How much of the snake changey, like how much do you snake changey potion do we have? Like how many of us could it change?
What's left, you don't know how long it is actually active for, but you could 2 of you could change, but remember you're changing into the same person.
Yeah. Fair. Okay.
But there are, like, treat this as a town. You know, there's a stable, there's other saloons, a livery, general store. Like, you tell me where you want to go.
Just to clarify, because you said we look like the same person, but didn't everybody on that train look like the same person too?
They were all, yeah. As far as you all could tell, they were all, what's his name? The gunslinger.
Yeah, we killed him real good.
That's for the C.
What is immediately surrounding the Rattlesnakes Coil? Like, could we maybe rent a boarding house across the street on a higher floor so we can observe it for a while?
That's a great plan you got there.
I probably got it from Ulrich, to be honest with you. He's more used to staking things out than I am.
Well, I'm pleased at the flattery.
Well, sorry, I'm trying to find dude's name, and it doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. It just bugs me.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. It was Carl Weathers. I know it's written down somewhere. I'll find it.
Carson. Was it Carson something?
Carl Cartwright.
Carl Cartwright. Oh,
he's dead. It doesn't matter.
That's close.
Nathaniel Caldwell was the Pinkerton detective, and Carl Cartwright was the gunslinger that when you found the train, every person on that train looked like Carl Cartwright. Now, when you killed those individuals, they turned into some weird lizard folk thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you shot Carl Cartwright in the head, he was just a dead body. To answer your question, Maybelle, the Rattlesnakes Coil sits on the outskirts of town on the southern side. Behind it, there is a stable and livery that seems to be the inn stables its horses there, but it's also a separate place where you can buy, sell horses as well as get them shod. And across the street, there's a general store and next to that, there's another saloon. Now, the saloon there does not have lodging. It's just a gambling hall.
So no lodging specifically in that area.
That's the only one in this area because it is on the outskirts of town.
Okay.
Inside the town, there are two other, is it called an inn? I feel like I'm missing a word there, but there are two places where you can find lodging in an old Wild West town.
Were we led to believe, and this is a callback, were we led to believe the night that we left our ranch aflame, with one Lewis hanging from a tree, were we led to believe that it was the foreman who I fired, who went and found the Pinkerton detective and brought them back to the ranch? Is that right? No,
Jeb Rasmussen
was he working alone?
Well, there was no direct connection between Jeb and the Pinkerton detective. There was more of a bit of what's the word? Resentment from Jeb towards you and the treatment, and because up till that point he was helpful, and when you fired him, and then when Mags put poor Lewis in charge and told him to take charge, that was kind of a thing, and it's reasonable to believe that Jeb and the ranch hands burned everything down, but it was not directly related to.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to run into him here, because that would be a bloodbath.
They were headed south to Kansas City with the herd.
Yeah.
They were driving stock south.
Okay, cool. Okay. I would probably try and take Mags's arm, assuming we're near the Rattlesnakes Coil. I would take Mags to the general store that's kind of like catty corner to it, and observe a little while as we're kind of investigating the general store.
Okay, so you all are entering the town then,
Yeah.
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 Okay, and are you all staying together? Are you all what's sort of your plan here? You can go basically wherever you want. Just ask me if there's a place, and we'll figure out a way to do it. Inquiries, if you want to go directly to the Rattlesnake Coil, Mags or Maybelle, if the general store, that's perfectly viable. I just want to kind of have an overall plan on where everybody wants to go and do.
Yeah, no, I think same thing. I think I would want to scope it out from across the street, or if there's another tavern nearby where we stay the night and kind of watch and see if we know anyone or if there's anything suspicious going on. That's kind of what I after months especially, I don't know what's going on here at all.
Okay. Ulrich?
Yeah, the same. I'd probably regale them with some story of an Arthur Pendleton I had tracked down to Albuquerque, and big town, one man, that kind of story.
Okay. And Mags, are you going to go along with Maybelle to the general store?
Yeah, I'm on stick with Belly.
Okay. So across the street from the Rattlesnakes Coil is the Sweetwater Saloon, and then I was going to say a general store, but a general store. And there's some residential stuff. There might a doctor's office as well there, but the only lodging on this particular side of the town is the Rattlesnakes Coil. If you all want to seek lodging and board your horses, including Gatlin horse, those are going to be, you've got two other options in town. You've got the Roundup is the name of one. As you go into town, you run into you run into a sheriff when you enter town. a deputy. He sort of seems to be hanging outside of town, on the main road in, just to sort of, that whole give you the rules of the town as you come in and make sure you're not up to nothing shady. So he introduces himself as Ted Whitman, and he says, as you come into town, hold on there, folks. Now, what brings you to town? What brings you to the fine town of Cheyenne? And as he says that, somebody runs through the streets, or rides through the streets on their horse, whooping and firing into the air. And he turns around and he looks at it for a little while. Then he turns back to you all and he says, when those ranch hands come into town, they get their blood going. It's a fine town, though, I promise. But what brings you all here? I gotta make sure you aren't up to no good.
Oh, I'm man of the law. I'm so glad you're here. Would you mind helping me down, sir?
Down from your horse? You want to step down here on the dirty floor? Oh, all right. Yeah,
I prefer to look a man in the eye.
Sure, yeah. Come on down.
I'm gonna do basically what I did with the sheriff and kind of lean into that while he helps me down. And just say, well, we are traveling from our former ranch. It unfortunately met with a little bit of accident, and my sister and I are looking for a new staff. These are our 2 current employees, and we heard that Cheyenne was the best place to meet men of skills.
What kind of skills you looking for?
Ranch
ma'am?
hands, protections.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, there's always a group rolling through here, and folks looking for work and whatnot. He's a little bit flustered by the close proximity to a young lady such as yourself.
Oh, well, perhaps you could tell me about the best places to go looking. Gentlemen, do you mind tying up the horses, maybe getting them some water? So, Sheriff, where should we really be looking if we're trying to find the most quality gentleman to work with? My sister and I, we don't really put up with bad behavior.
Speaking of which, you doing all right there, son? I noticed you look, because he said he was kind of flustered dealing with Maybelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You doing all right? Is there some sort of sickness going around here? I mean, you got people shooting guns in the street and ill deputies coming out to greet young women. What's wrong with you?
Oh no, I'm not ill. I apologize. I just a little bit.
Dallas, don't be rude to the kind gentleman. He's really just here to help us, aren't you, Sheriff? And I'll kind of like pat him on the shoulder as I say that.
Yeah, I'm just, it's my pleasure to kind of show you around the town here, and
I'll kind of turn him away so that I am looking over his shoulder at the rest of them, while I'm talking to him, and kind of nod my head just for you guys to keep going.
Okay.
Oh, sure. I mean, I wouldn't say that this is a gentle town now by any means. It's not necessarily a place for young Gentile women. It's a bit of a rough around the edges, I must say. But there are a couple places where you might find lodging. There's the Roundup, which is where a lot of the cowpokes sort of, if they aren't staying in the camps outside, then they come in for. Now the Roundup may or may not have a bit of and he starts blushing. It's some men might go there for comfort if they've been out on the trail for a long time, and
well, we certainly don't need any of that.
And at that he turns bright red. He's gonna look to you, Dallas and Ulrich, for some help in this situation. Just to
what about areas we might like to avoid? You know, the less policed areas that would be dangerous for us to enter. Things we should look out for. As much as I'd love to be rescued by a handsome sheriff, I assure you that is not what I arrived here for.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's a bit of a rough town. Like I said, we have our fair share of bar fights and brawls, a couple duels at sunrise, and the occasional body in the alley that we have to take care of. But Abe Curry's place is probably the nicest, and it might not have. I mean, there's still a few. Again, he looks at you, Ulrich and Dallas. It's still a bit of a maybe young ladies like yourself. Maybe.
Boy's got his pecker switched with his brain. Can't get a sentence out, poor thing.
Well, it's not me. I just don't want to offend the lasses here. There's there's ladies here in town that
slurring of speech is a symptom of a lot of serious conditions. You should go talk to the doctor. Unless you've been in to drink this early in the day, surely not.
Oh no, not at all. It's just that the young ladies here, they got. I mean, this isn't a place for the ladies in this town.
Act like you've never talked to a young lady before. You must not have any in this town.
Okay, oh gosh, no, not one of your caliber, miss. It's most of the ladies around here are they have a certain occupation that might be found distasteful by Gentile ladies like yourselves.
Oh, are you talking about the oldest profession?
They're whores.
Yes, ma'am,
Sheriff,
that they are.
Women of the world. We've heard every story in the book. You're not going to offend us just by being honest with us.
Certainly. I got lots of things to attend to. If there's 3 inns, like I said, stay away from the Rattlesnake Coil. It sorts to attract a different kind of crowd. Yeah, gentlemen, please keep these ladies out of trouble. This isn't a Gentile town, like I said.
Maybe I'll see you at one of those establishments later, Sheriff.
Oh, goodness. Ma'am, I don't think you understand. You know what? I gotta. He's gonna tip his hat and
before you go, boy.
Yeah.
Where's your superior?
You mean the sheriff or the marshal? Look, my job is just to I'm here as a town guide and sort of I help out around the place, and but if you want if you're looking for the authority in the town, you're looking for Marshal Blanchard. 2 roads up, you can't miss the sheriff's office there.
Thank you. That's all.
Ma'am.
Sheriff.
Doctor.
Bueller.
So you have 3 options for boarding your horses: the Rattlesnake Inn, the Roundup, the Abe Curry. Where would you all like to go?
The Curry was the nice one, right?
Yeah, of the 3.
Okay, well, we can't stay at the Rattlesnake. I feel like that's just we're trying to die.
That's like a conflict of interest.
I would follow the gentleman's lead at this point because I really don't know anything about the law.
Which one's the closest to this here entrance?
The Abe Curry's on this side of town. The Roundup is sort of on the western edges, over closer to the cowboy camps that get set up out on the outskirts of town, and then the Rattlesnake Inn is on the southern edge.
So the nicer one is coincidentally closer, because I'll opt for that one.
Makes sense. You're less likely to get shot, but don't rule it out.
Right.
As we're riding up to this Curry saloon, I think I might use some of my bounty hunting assets to track down our would-be compatriots. I believe I still have. I'm gonna fish in my bag and pull out the bounty for Logan Boone, as well as my license for bounty hunting in the U.S. and greater territories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I can speak to the sheriff or the marshal, see if they even came in or if they went unnoticed.
Well, now that we've all shown our faces to the law, they probably already know we're here if they're still at the Rattlesnake Inn. Rattlesnakes Coil, rather.
I wouldn't bet on it, but it's possible.
You don't think in a town like this they might have paid off the law enforcement?
We talking about our enemies?
Of course.
Oh, well, in that case, I'd say you would be dumb not to bet on it.
Well,
The thing that I'm worried about, though, and where exactly are we? Is there anybody? There's nobody nearby, right?
There's a few people. Let's say you're standing. There was a hitching post there that you could tie your horses up, and you all dismounted. So there's a boardwalk, and there's the street there, and there's a few people passing by. But
Okay.
this early in the morning, it's not too wild.
Well, the thing that has me worried the most. I mean, we saw what Mags changed with the potion. None of these people could be real. Here in this town, maybe they're all snake people. Maybe we're already found out and they're just toying with us.
That's a healthy dose of paranoia.
I think what's more likely, being as we're months late, if we do run into Boone, we need to be careful. Just as easy he got here first, they already captured him, turned him into some potion. Maybe there's 100 Logan Boones running around here. We don't know.
Gonna have to trust our guts on this one.
Dallas, you spent some time with Hatoke.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this doesn't really seem like his kind of locale. I can't imagine he'd be very welcome in a city like this.
It would be certainly questionable,
Well,
his safety.
maybe we should check the camps outside of town.
That's not a bad idea. I
Occasionally
suppose
I have a good one.
more than occasionally. I don't know. That's as good a plan as any. Might be a safer way to start. What do you guys think?
I think it's a good plan.
Better than any plan I'm gonna come up with.
If we want to maybe play it a little safer, perhaps I just go take a look, just quick ride around outside of town and just come back. And if I see any camps, I won't stop. I'll come and get you all first. That way we at least know what's outside, and maybe I see something on the way around. Who knows?
You're not gonna stop.
No,
Promise me.
I promise. I'm just gonna look with my eyes.
Mags, maybe you and I refresh our supplies so that if we have to leave in a hurry, we'll be prepared.
Sounds good.
Why don't we just blow up the Rattlesnakes Coil?
I mean, we could.
It
Those
worked
little,
last time. It was. It's
Those
a
little
good
glass
solution.
balls. Yeah. Might be able to light up this whole damn town.
Keep that in our back pockets.
Yeah, I think that's a solid plan B.
I
Right.
figured I'd put it out there, to watch the keeper's expression fall to one of rage when I mentioned it.
And perhaps it's possible for us to find a way to figure out who's a snake creature. Ulrich, remind me, was there anything different about the way they looked, their blood, their smell, anything?
What I recall, no.
That sorts it out.
That caught right. The only suspicion I had was when I passed a train with 20 of them.
You know, I think if it comes down to it, maybe if we get this boon, whether it's the real one or not, if we can get him alone. I mean, Hatoke taught me some stuff. I know I'm not necessarily going to be able to dispel the illusion, but he might think that I can.
That's a good idea.
I just think it might be worth playing it really safe this time.
Everyone just remember that we've already seen the impossible from these people. There's no telling what else they got up their sleeves.
Right. I guess I'm gonna grab my tack and saddle and stuff and scout the outside of town.
So, Maybelle and Mags, you are going to the general store. Are you going to the one across from the Rattlesnake Inn?
Well, see, here's the thing. If Ulrich goes to chat with the law folk, and Dallas goes to do a tour of all the camps, Maybelle would probably suggest to Mags that maybe they just do a once around the Rattlesnakes Coil, just to make sure that nothing strange is happening on the outside of the building.
What could go wrong?
Mags could handle you guys. She's tough. Just go take care of the mission.
Who's gonna pay attention to the two of us?
Right?
And Ulrich, you're going to the marshal's office.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go.
Split the party.
Sorry, there are assholes running up and down the street on
dirt bikes again.
dirt bikes.
You're 6 years old too. It doesn't seem safe.
No.
That sounds appropriate for where you live.
Welcome to yeah.
We're gonna do Mags and Maybelle first. So you all split directions. Mags and Maybelle, as you approach the Rattlesnake Coil, as you're walking through town. So you did you walk or ride? Did you leave? Did you check into the? We can assume that you all checked into the Abe Curry.
Yeah.
Got Gatlin horse squared away. As you all walk through town, the marshal, the deputy, whatever, wasn't lying. This is a rough town. Even as you walk through, two people stumble out of a saloon across the street from you, arms around each other, singing cowboy songs as they stumble through the streets. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. You take one street up, and you hear, "You son of a bitch! You had those aces up your goddamn sleeve!" And you see somebody kicked bodily out of a saloon door and shot down right there in the street. And nobody, like, there's a momentary pause in the traffic as people stop and watch, and then they keep on going. And as you continue walking past, you see a tall, somber man in a black suit come out and pick up the body in a cart and take it back towards the north side of town. But when you get closer to the south side of the town, it starts to diminish. And while it's not a actual physical thing that you can see, like the paint isn't actually a different color on these buildings, but everything sort of seems to have a little bit more like an oppressive cloud around it. And as you get closer to the Rattlesnake Inn, there's less traffic. less foot traffic. And once the Rattlesnake Inn comes into view, you see the Sweetwater Saloon across the street, the general store, and it's a regular inn. It's a 2-story inn with a balcony, and there's a man sitting on the porch, the front porch there, with a hat pulled down over his head and his feet propped up on another chair.
The Sweetwater Saloon?
No, the Sweetwater Saloon's across the street. He's sitting on the porch of the Rattlesnakes Coil.
Does he look familiar?
You can't see his face. He's got his hat pulled down like he's sleeping.
What does it sound like? Anything?
Give me a listen, both y'all. Are you looking for anything in particular, Mags?
No, just trying to get a lay of the land, I think. See suspicious folk. That's a success for me.
Okay.
Success.
I mean, it's quieter on this side of town, and again, it is 10 o'clock in the morning, but you do hear some normal things coming from the inside, maybe muffled talking, and it sounds like maybe somebody's playing cards or something, maybe a baccarat table.
No familiar faces or anything, right?
Nobody you see right now. No. There's actually nobody on the street. The only person out there right now is the gentleman that's apparently napping on the front porch.
How far are we from him right now?
How far do you want to be?
I mean, I would probably sneak as close as Mags would allow me to do. As quietly as possible, of course.
Are you sneaking or are you just walking like regular folk?
I mean, if he's asleep, then I'm sneaking because it doesn't matter what I look like. I want to try and get a look inside. Just like passing by, like.
Okay. I mean, this is a town. You would be more suspicious like snooping around than you would be walking.
Then I'll walk like a normal human, but I'll try and do it tippy-toed so that I'm super quiet, so that I don't wake up. Do you guys remember the game Don't Wake Mommy or Don't Wake Daddy?
Oh, yeah.
It's that.
I think you two are talking about different games.
I don't think we are.
We're not.
Oh, all right. Just to be clear, you're walking down the street. You're not like peeking in the windows or anything.
You're giving me too many opportunities to try and retcon this. No, if Mags is gonna let it happen, I'm just gonna like do a quick walk by the front door and maybe slow down for just a second or two so I can maybe catch a glimpse of what's going on inside.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Yeah. As you walk past, it seems like a normal place, but you've got that oppressive cloud kind of over you. You don't see anybody that you recognize. It's continuing on, just mundane shit going on inside the saloon. And the gentleman on the front porch is snoozing by all intents and purposes.
See anything good?
Not really. It's hard to see from out here.
Should we just go in?
Wouldn't the boys be mad?
Well, I guess we could do our shopping first and then make a decision.
It's kind of on the way back. All right, let's go grab a couple supplies, and then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sheriff, you take your horse and do a nonchalant little pass around the exterior of town.
Mhm.
You pass through. It's not a big town. It doesn't take you but a few minutes, and you see much the same thing that the Monroe sisters just saw. Some casual violence, drunkenness in the streets, but you also see, a bank, and you see normal things about a town too. It's just sort of a juxtaposed town, like it's trying to be bigger than it is, but it's being held back by the roughneck nature of the people that might not even be. They might just be transients. The ranch hands and the cowboys that come through this area. You reach the outskirts and you do see several distinct clusters of tents sort of separated from each other. And two of them have large corrals. It looks like the corrals are always there, but the tents come and go kind of thing, where a group comes in with a load of cattle. They have a place to stay for a couple days before they move on to a destination to sell those. Now, you do notice as well that the railroad tracks go right along the edge of town.
Okay. I think then, as I see each camp, though, I wouldn't stop, like, necessarily, but I would just kind of ride a little bit close just to see if I do recognize anyone. If that's creepy and it looks like anyone is, like, coming out to see me, I don't know. Let me know and I'll roleplay that, but I just...
There's still plenty of people about.
Okay.
So just a lone cowpoke kind of trotting by on his horse isn't going to draw much attention to himself, unless you do something strange.
No. So then do I recognize anybody?
The three camps that are populated right now, as you pass them, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You see the normal. People are just waking up, maybe recovering from a hangover. You see several small groups of 3 or 4 heading from town back towards the camps, like maybe they were out all night. You see somebody getting a dressing down for showing up drunk for his shift. He was supposed to be here an hour ago, and he wasn't here. And you do see a laundry like on the edge there, because it kind of smells bad, but
okay.
But it's a fairly large laundry building. You know the smell, but this seems to be a thriving business here in this town. But as you pass the laundry, out of an alley, you see somebody poke their head out, and it's a familiar face. And it's Logan Boone, and he sees you, and his eyes go wide for a minute. He looks around, and then he motions you towards him.
How far away is this guy?
About 50 feet.
I'm gonna take note of any landmarks near this area so that I can get back here on foot. But I did make a promise, so I am going to just give him a nod and then shake and just kind of motion that, like, later kind of thing as I ride on by.
He's gonna look exasperated as you pass by him.
And I'll continue on back to the room, and if there's nobody there, I'll probably wait down in the lobby and have a drink, because I'm not going to go exploring this entire town unless things get too late and for some reason, like, I don't know, another hour goes by and nobody shows up. Then I'm going to go assume the worst, and probably one by one will get eaten by the giant monster saloon thing.
It's called the Rattlesnakes Coil because it's
Yes.
actually just a giant rattlesnake.
That's
that
what I mean,
eats
yeah,
everyone
exactly.
who comes inside.
Exactly. I was picturing, like, the snake way, like from Dragon Ball.
Ulrich, you follow the directions that you were given by the deputy, and you find
Streets up.
couple streets up, hang a left, and you see a fairly obvious marshal's office. There's bars on the windows, bars on the door. The door is closed, and there's nobody outside.
I'm walking up.
So you enter, or do you knock?
I'm just gonna enter.
Inside, you see a younger man. So the deputy was old, obviously, white hair, beard. The man behind the desk is about your age, maybe a little older. Bushy mustache, shaggy hair, and he's sitting at his desk. Behind him, there's a gun rack, 2 Winchester rifles, 2 12-gauge shotguns, and 2 Colt Peacemakers. And there's 2 tiny jail cells in there, and a series of, there's the typical board on the other side of the door with all sorts of wanted posters.
Anybody in the cells?
There's somebody that's sleeping in the cell, snoring very loudly.
Sheriff, I presume?
Nah. Marshal Blanchard. I'm marshal for this whole territory.
Pleasure
We
to
ain't got
meet
no
you,
sheriff
Marshal.
here. Not since, 2 weeks ago.
How unfortunate for y'all.
It happens. We got high turnaround around here. You might have noticed it's a bit of a rough town.
Most certainly. Well, I'm here on Pacific Railroad business.
Well, yeah, anything we can do for the railroad.
Of course. I'm looking for this man. I'm gonna pull out the bounty for Logan Boone. You seen Mr. Boone in your wonderful town here?
Why, sure, yeah. He come through here about 4 or 5 months ago.
You don't say. Looks like I missed him. You see where he went?
I sure do. He's still here.
Well, ain't that a fortunate bit of business? Would you mind kindly directing me towards him?
Why, sure. But he ain't got to be in no hurry. He's not going nowhere.
Why for?
Well, he rolled into this town. We knew he was wanted by the Pacific Railroad, so we strung him up. He's buried on a cemetery about half mile outside of town. I'm dreadful sorry you came all this way with no bounty to show for it, but at least we got a dangerous criminal off the roads, right?
Better for everyone in good society. Oh, well, suppose I should get myself a drink then. I'm gonna take the bounty back. Keep it for sentimental purposes. I'm sure you understand. You know a good place to get a stiff one around here?
Oh, there's plenty of saloons. Stick your head into any of them. They all got some sort of piss water you can drink.
Appreciate it. I'll take my leave.
Where you headed?
Well, ladies had mentioned that they were going to a general store, but I wasn't there for the specifics. So I hope it's the one closest to the Curry Saloon.
So are you going to the general store or back to the Abe Curry?
I'm going to the general store, hoping I'd meet up with them.
Okay. They are not there. The general store there's a man behind the counter, asks if he can help you with anything, but they are not in that general store. Generally, they are not generally there in that general store.
Well, I know what that means. Wonderful. Now, where would be the worst place for young, civilized lady to be in this here town?
Oh, there are no young civilized ladies in this town. I assure you, sir. I apologize, but you won't find them here. This is a bit of a rough and tumble town, regardless what we try to do for it.
Well, I didn't ask you if there were any.
Oh, why? Why, certainly. If there was one place that I would say stay away from, it's the Rattlesnakes Coil. There's more disappearances and murders in that area than anywhere else in this town.
Well, not to incriminate myself, but mind giving me direction?
Certainly. You go out this main street and you head south, almost out of town. It's right on the edge there. Got its own livery. But I don't recommend staying there, sir. Stranger, if I were you, I'd stay at the Roundup with Abe Curry. And the Roundup has some very nice ladies, if you know what I mean. If you're looking for a young, respectable woman, or at least one that can pretend to be.
Appreciate it. And I'll make my way over to the Rattlesnake now that I've got directions.
Sheriff, it's been about an hour. Nobody's come back yet.
I'm gonna finish my milk on the rocks. Is the innkeep nearby?
You can flag him down.
I came here with 3 people. You remember them?
Yes, sir, I do.
They come. How long ago did they leave? Would you say, if you noticed?
Oh, right about the time you did. Not too long after.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna pay my tab and walk out the door and make my way to not certain doom.
Not certain doom. Ladies, you come out of the general store, and what would you like to do?
Mags, I don't feel right about going in without the boys. I feel like they'd be pretty upset if we did something that stupid. But you know, this guy's sitting out on the porch. I mean, maybe he knows what's going on in there. Wouldn't hurt to ask, right?
I suppose not.
Okay, we're just gonna have to kind of play dumb. If he seems like he's on to us, okay?
We can do that.
Okay, all right. And with bags of goods?
Yeah,
we have like a canvas
cloth-bound
Yeah, like
parcels.
sacks.
I
Sacks
was
of
trying to
goods.
think like we're shopping bags a thing. We'd kind of like walk across the street, sort of about to head back from whence we came, and trying to make it look like it's just kind of in passing. To the guy on the porch, I'll just go, "Sir, what do you know about this establishment? It looks a little quieter than the other taverns in town."
He doesn't start like, ugh. He just pulls his hat back slowly, looks y'all in the eye, and says, "Hi, welcome to the Rattlesnakes Coil." And that's where we're going to stop for the night.
He seems legit.
He's very pleasant. I don't understand why everyone says this is such a terrible place.
I just remembered that, yeah. Never mind.
I like to imagine.
I think only one person understands what that
Yeah,
reference
only
might
one
be.
person witnessed that.
Yep.
And actually, Mags and Dallas don't know it all because I produced it. That's the only reason I know about it. Oh no. Okay.
Something may or may not have happened during Ulrich's solo adventure.
That is a totally different film.
It is most certainly solo. I thought I would have something else to say.
Well, that puts us in a great position to wrap this whole rootin' tootin' adventure up next week.
No, don't say
Thank
that
you
like
all
it's
for,
ending.
huh?
Don't say that like it's ending.
Well, this chapter, we draw close on this chapter. Thank you all so much for sticking with us tonight and riding this out. We had some deep role playing there. That was phenomenal to watch, and I didn't have to do shit. You did great. Let's do some outros here on the way out. Let's go in reverse order. Maybelle Monroe, what you got going on? Who you is?
I'm Diana still. Tomorrow I have a really cool thing that's coming out. Just go check on Twitter. However, I am more invested in Triffid in chat, who composed my anonymous letter and is now posting it. So I'm busy.
I think you should read that as like that aside. Like, we've got the scene where the candlelight is flickering and Dallas is reading the letter.
But he doesn't read it. I read it to him.
Well, this is that he's reading it, but it's voiceover in your voice.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, all right. I'm gonna read it aloud if everyone's cool with that. If we got a second to hear this. Triffin must know what's in my heart. So, spending all winter in this tiny town has made me think on how I feel. But it's hard to pin those feelings down. How much is imagined and how much real? You surely are a fine gentleman, courteous, kind, capable, kind. But maybe I'm too sentimental when my heart could all be in my mind. Is it just that I'm scared and need a broad shoulder? Or can I trust the warmth in my heart? You, sir, would help if you'd be a bit bolder, if you'd only step up and play your part. This poem right here is all I can dare. Please let me know whether you too care. Thank you, Triffid. That was beautiful. That was amazing.
Beautiful,
fantastic.
Beautiful.
It's on brand that it rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love it. Perfect.
Well
Wonderful. Mason, what do you got going on?
Yeah, hey everybody, my name is Mason Dula. You can find me at that onto the Twitter. I don't have a whole ton going on right now other than games with these people, and I know we have our World of Darkness finale coming up soonish. I have things that I'm probably not going to be announcing until the middle to end of, well, we're already in the middle, the end of this month.
But they're real cool.
But they're real cool and they're coming, so.
Name of your sex tape.
I don't remember what I said, but I bet it was brilliant.
They're real cool and they're coming.
Okay. Nice. Yes.
Lord Fancy.
Yes, I am Lord Fancy. I played the indomitable Ulrich Wolf tonight. And, you can find me over on my channel doing the roleplay thing with Dungeons and Dragons every Wednesday. We have a guest for the next 2 weeks in McHuntington's. So tune on in to see that funness. And I'm also here Tuesdays and Thursdays role-playing it up with our good friends, Bard and Barbarian.
And last but certainly not least, Emily, what you got going on?
Hi,
Besides a
Ron.
new puppy.
Yeah, I'm Emily. We have a new puppy, trying to get her to sleep in the room next door. I am Director of Licensing over at Roll20. Exciting day today. We just announced pre-orders for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition coming to Roll20 for the first time ever. May or may not have had quite a little bit to do with that. I'm the special friend. So that's why I'm here. And you can find me on all the social medias at The Special Friend. No, at Emily the Spoon. But maybe I'll change my handle. I don't know. It's better.
Special friend.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for hanging in with us. I've been your storyteller this evening. Last weekend, I won a trophy. I just want to show it off. I got best in show.
You won 2 trophies last weekend.
I won 2 trophies. It's a
Nice,
skateboard
congrats,
deck.
man.
Look at this thing. Like, cool.
Now you have to learn to skateboard.
No, I don't. It doesn't got wheels.
Well, we can change that real easy.
I do competitive bearding, and that was one thing that I had going on. So you can find me here on this channel doing lots of different things. We've got our Tuesday, Thursday game with Tuesday is Outbreak Undead with Diana, Lord Fancy, as well as 2 other wonderful cast members, Dread Rising. So next week we will be wrapping up both of these. So we're now on a 3-on, 1-off schedule for both of our shows, so that we get a week off every once in a while, which is real nice. So next week we'll be wrapping up a little arc where our Dread Rising disaster group maybe find a safe haven. I don't know. We'll see. And we'll finish up.
Leg.
Yeah. I just sawed off a leg. Finish up. The first arc in our Iron, Dust, and Blood before we make a fun little transition there. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. One last thing. Today, our mugs went live. The Gallon Horse mugs. They are available on our store. Tits, Guns, and Dynamite. What makes the Old West go round.
There's Gatlin Horse.
Gatlin Horse.
In all their glory.
These are
So good.
powder-coated mugs, 10-ounce thermal insulated mugs. Done by a utensil company, super high quality, and you can find those on our website, bardandbarbarian.com. But thank you guys so much, and that's all I got.
Yay! Everyone have a good night. We'll see you next week. Bye.